Nature built an animal that refuses to die. Deep in the ocean, a creature smaller than your pinky nail can reset its own life, reversing age and escaping the natural endpoint of every other animal on Earth. It sounds like science fiction, but the truth shatters the rules of biology. What does it mean for life if death is optional? In the silent blue of the Mediterranean, a creature drifts, so small it could balance on the tip of a pencil. This is Turritopsis dohrnii. It measures just 4 to 4.5 millimeters across. Its bell nearly invisible except for a bright red stomach glowing at the center. Around the rim, up to 90 pale tentacles trail like fine threads, nearly transparent against the water. Most would never notice it. For decades after its first scientific record in Italy in the 1880s, it blended in with the countless other jellyfish swarming the world's coasts. Turritopsis dohrnii belongs to the hydrozoans, a group of animals known for their simple bodies and complex lives. Like all jellyfish, its story begins as a fertilized egg adrift in the currents. The egg hatches into a planula, a tiny ciliated larva that swims until it finds a hard surface. There, it transforms into a polyp, a stalked, sessile form rooted to rock or shell. The polyp is not alone for long. Through asexual budding, it grows into a small colony, each segment capable of producing new life. From this colony, young medusae bud off, miniature jellyfish that break free and enter the open water. Over the course of 2 to 4 weeks, these medusae grow, feeding on plankton and even preying on other small jellyfish. When mature, they release eggs and sperm into the sea, starting the cycle again. For most jellyfish, this journey is a one-way trip. Planula to polyp, polyp to medusa, medusa to death. The arrow only points forward. There is no natural return to youth, no second chance. Aging is built in, and the end is certain. Turritopsis dohrnii follows this path, at least at first glance. It is a master of disguise, both in its near invisibility and in its ordinary routine. Only a close look at its life reveals what sets it apart. But in the beginning, it is just another tiny medusa, pulsing through the ocean's light, bound by the same rules as everything else. The cycle seems simple: forward, then finished, until something interrupts the script. A storm, a sudden drop in temperature, a wound from a passing fish. These are not rare events in the world of Turritopsis dohrnii. When disaster strikes, the jellyfish does not simply drift to the end. Within hours, its body begins to unravel. The bell softens, tentacles shrink and fall away. The medusa, once pulsing with life, loses its shape and sinks or clings to a rough surface. What happens next is almost unthinkable. The body contracts into a compact, translucent sphere, a cyst. Inside this cyst, the animal is neither alive in the usual sense nor dead. It is paused, waiting. Over the next 24 to 72 hours, cells inside the cyst begin to reorganize. The jellyfish's old identity dissolves. Structures that once powered swimming or hunting are stripped away. What remains is a cluster of living cells, ready to rewrite the animal from scratch. This is not a simple rest or a dormant phase. The cyst is a reset button. From this state, Turritopsis dohrnii can build a new polyp colony, identical to the one that started its life. The process can erase the marks of age, injury, or starvation. In the right conditions, the cycle can begin again. Medusa to cyst, cyst to polyp, polyp to medusa, an endless loop, at least in theory. Yet there are boundaries. The ocean is not gentle. Most Turritopsis dohrnii never reach the reset. Predators, small fish, larger jellyfish, Even planktonic crustaceans find the medusa easy prey. Disease and infection can destroy a colony before reversal starts. A jellyfish caught in a filter or battered by waves will not recover. The reset is a rare privilege, not a guarantee. Even in the safety of laboratory tanks, not every medusa survives the transition. Some collapse but do not return. The immortal jellyfish can escape aging, but not fate. Its power is conditional, triggered only by threat and stress. The cyst is a last resort, a gamble that the world will be safer for a polyp than for a dying adult. In nature, the odds are stacked against it, but when the gamble pays off, the result is a living paradox, an animal that can start its story over again and again, as long as nothing destroys the page. Inside the cyst, the rules of biology are rewritten. Cells that once had fixed jobs, muscle, nerve, stinging cell, shed their old identities. This is not ordinary regeneration. Mature cells abandon their fate and switch roles, a process scientists call transdifferentiation. Under the microscope, the transformation is unmistakable. Tissues dissolve, boundaries blur, and the jellyfish's body becomes a living workshop. Alvaro Reitzel and others have traced these changes, cell by cell. The bell's epidermis and the internal canals, once specialized for movement and feeding, become the raw material for a new life. Genes that kept the medusa's body running are switched off. In their place, a new set of instructions takes over. Genes linked to DNA repair, stress resistance, and stem-like renewal. A surge in gene activity sweeps across the cyst. DNA repair pathways switch on, scanning the genome for damage and patching errors left by age or injury. Telomere-related genes, those that protect the ends of chromosomes, are up-regulated, hinting at a possible reset of the cellular clock. The cell's protein factories clear away the old, making room for new structures. Almost half the genes most active in the cyst have no known function. They may be unique to Turritopsis, a hidden script guiding this reversal. What's clear is that, for a few hours, the animal becomes a blank slate, its cells open to new possibilities, its genome in repair mode. This is how the impossible becomes routine, not by stopping death, but by rewriting the story of the body, one cell at a time. In a Kyoto lab, Shin Kubota watched as Turritopsis dohrnii defied the usual limits of life. Over 2 years, his colony collapsed and regenerated 11 times. Each cycle began with a medusa under stress, starved, wounded, or simply old, shrinking into a cyst, then rebuilding itself as a juvenile polyp. Kubota's meticulous records provided the clearest evidence yet. This jellyfish's life cycle isn't a one-way street, but a revolving door. While no one has tracked a single jellyfish through dozens of resets, the repeated revival of entire colonies under controlled conditions is hard to dismiss. Teams in Italy, Japan, and Spain have triggered reversal in the lab using temperature changes, starvation, or mechanical injury. The process is consistent, observable, and now recognized as a biological fact. Genomic research reveals why Turritopsis stands apart from its mortal relatives. Compared to Turritopsis rubra, the so-called immortal jellyfish carries extra copies and unique versions of genes tied to DNA repair, telomere maintenance, and cellular renewal. When the reset begins, a wave of gene activity sweeps across the cyst, activating pathways for genome stability and stem cell behavior. Evolution has favored this genetic toolkit. In a chaotic ocean, the ability to revert to a colonial form means survival and another shot at reproduction. It's not about living forever, but about keeping the lineage going when disaster hits. Ruth Cheng, who studies aging and regeneration, cautions that Turritopsis' escape from aging isn't a recipe for human immortality. Yet its natural reprogramming offers a rare glimpse into how cells might be persuaded to start over. Right now, scientists race to decode Turritopsis dohrnii's cellular secrets, hoping to unlock new paths in aging and regeneration. Nature's loopholes aren't just curiosities, they're blueprints. Somewhere below, a creature quietly resets its clock, reminding us life's boundaries are stranger and less permanent than we dare imagine. Share your thoughts below.